I'm going to do it a little bit earlier in the day than I usually do. Last night took me almost 4 hours to upload and process everything, and just for a poxy little YouTube video. It's Prime Minister's still in hospital, and they say he's not on a ventilator, and I'd imagine after 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, we'll have any idea on what's going on, because apparently the first 24 hours are key, and it's rather peculiar times. I don't think, as I said in the blog, in living memory, we've had a Prime Minister out of communication, in the sense that I think Thatcher got on with the job the day after the bomb went off in '84. Tony Blair was out of action for a day in 2002, I think, because of Operation. Probably all the way back to Churchill in the 50s, because his health was not the best. And then you have to go further back. I mean, the last Prime Minister to die in office was Palmerston in 1865. Naturally, there are those who are saying Boris is reaping what he sowed, or his party have sown, and the man's a liar and all this stuff. And but as is the way of politics, his opponents and the like, I don't think Jeremy Corbyn said anything yet. I mean, alright, he's not a Labour leader anymore, but he has tussled with Boris. They've all come out and wished him well. Even David Cameron and Theresa May, who I don't think they were the biggest fans of his, even when they were Prime Minister and all the rest of it. There are those on social media websites and that said last week, how is it famous people, celebrities or whatever, like Prince Charles and Boris and whatever, have it and get well, and it's only like us, Joe Public, that die. Well, anyone can get it. Cholera killed everyone in the 1840s, from the top on down. Hence how Highgate Cemetery, those Victorians building those big mausoleums that were meant to be for them in old, when they died of old age. Yet the first bit you pulled out went into it with their children. I think I've said that before, haven't I? And as I was reading about Boris getting into hospital and the like, my throat, which has been mucousy, it's the only way I can describe it, became quite sore last night. Not like massively sore, I can swallow and without it hurting and the like, but for weeks, if not probably since January, I've had like a kind of blockish feeling in my throat from the mucus. But then I always had done since I started on once the tour job started to take hold, and I had a really bad case of flu probably in September, which is the only time I went home sick. And November I got something that knocked me out for 6. I feel okay. I don't have like a temperature. I get warm flashes, but then my flat being my flat, it always gets warm from below anyway. So maybe I've got windows open. I'm not worried as such, but I went on the NHS symptom checker thing and just typed in sore throat and pressed the first reaction, and they said it asks you a question, something like can you have difficulty swallowing, and I said yes, no, or I don't know, and I said no, and then it asks you if you got pains in your chest, and I said yes, and then it said if you had these pains longer than 12 hours or after 12 hours, or within 12 hours or something, and I said I've had them in 12 hours because I didn't have them the day before. And then it says call ambulance, and then I changed the answers around. It said still call ambulance. I changed the answers a third time. I still calling a bloody ambulance. I haven't called ambulance. I don't want to waste the NHS this time before. It's probably just and I was touching my stomach there. It's just probably a sore throat. Hopefully a sore throat. I have though got chest ache about here, which I don't know. My lungs would be there, I suppose, but then I looked on the BBC website, because they keep updating it, and it says that the main symptoms are fever and that, and apparently I don't think I've got corona, but we're all kind of surprised. None of us, only one of us on the tour buses looks like they've got something similar to it. So when you consider who were dealing with people from all around the world. It's any wonder. But I got told, the surgery last year, the year before, made out that I had something about my thyroid. And they phoned me and they kept emphasising, if you feel sick, feel sick. And they made it sound really desperately serious. Like I was going to pop my clogs anytime. And I was going out that evening for my group therapy. And all I could think of was, what if this was my last week kind of thing and stuff. And last night I lay in bed and I thought, well, how does it work if I do have coronavirus, Hopefully by the end of the week I'll be okay, but I'm not really thinking about the outcome if I do get it. My family would have to deal with all my books, which will probably go to charity shops. But today's 3 weeks since I lost the tour job. I say lost it, I'm technically still on their books. We all are, those of us that didn't get chopped on the day before anyway. But it's been 3 weeks and it doesn't feel like I feel like it was another life. Every day it's the same thing, unless I go out to the shop, and even then that's every 4 or 5 days now, and I feel like I'm going to get the long arm of the law clapping down on my collar. And it's, when this all ends, and it'll have to end sometime, I reckon the peak in London will be this week. You wonder to yourself, is life going to be the same again? It'll be a tough first couple of days back on the job, I'd imagine. If I am going back to the tour bus job, if I get myself focused on it and see my friends and that, and then it goes back, I'll be stressed out by the job, I'll be annoyed by the job and fed up of commuting and paying through the nose for train fare and stuff, so. And then what if it comes back next February? Like people say it could do. I mean, the influenza plague didn't disappear in a year, it took a couple of years to get rid of. But you get by as much as you wish. Sometimes you couldn't, and I need to get my writing project done, but I have anyway, finally, because everywhere's Boris, and I thought I'd do it a bit. I mean, I haven't touched it yet, and I hopefully won't go through it all one night. Where did I get it from? Morrison's. It's not a plug, but I always go for a French bottle of wine if I can. Red wine, no less. I've long had enough of the taste of rye. I'm not a connoisseur by any stretch of the imagination. I joke that I've watched the film Sideways and Frasier. I've watched enough episodes of Frasier, and indeed that's probably why I buy Bordeaux, because of Noel saying they're cheeky Bordeaux. I personally believe, like, so I'm not an expert, that if you're going to get a bottle of wine, it's got to be from France. I mean, that's what they're famous for, amongst other things. And this is 2015, a discernible vintage, and that cost me £6. And it's weird I was in Sainsbury's the same day, and had a look, and I wasn't in there for I was mostly in there for other bits. No liquor, but for 3 bottles, and all the wines made, and it's weird, at some point my life has to change for the better. I'm not talking about the forest, but it's been a downward trajectory, I can't even speak, since 2017, and you're by yourself, and I don't even have a garden. I used to mess about with the back garden at the old house until 2017, trying to grow conifers and stuff, and the conifers kept dying, and you had the trouble with the neighbour kids, so I never went into the garden in case of trouble. And downstairs I've got a nice little sort of garden because it's a masonette, you know, and a little patch of green, and they've got cats and they've got each other. And yes, you know, us staying isolated is for the greater good, and we're doing our bit. We're pulling our pound, as they said in the war, but it takes a toll. I've forgotten how to interact with actual people, how to speak to people. I've spoken on this thing more than I have done anyone else. You have to, hopefully, they'll learn. Hopefully it will turn a corner. So we'll see what happens, and try, because that's all you can do. And maybe the next time you chaps bother, I'll have something in mind. I need to figure out, I don't know what I was hoping to do. I sort of, this is sort of like isolation diaries, but I don't know. So then, also we'll see how long. Yeah. Anyway.